The new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has rejected a recent Federal High Court ruling in Abia, ordering the takeover of the party's administration by Dr. Boniface Anebana. The party's National Working Committee has denounced the judgment as a fraud and declared it legally ineffective. Now, the party's constitution, which the judgment was allegedly based on, was amended on April 6, 2024. Moreover, Dr. Anebana and other claimants to the Board of Trustees membership had already been expelled from the NNPP, a decision upheld by the Federal High Court in Abuja. Well, joining me on the program this evening to discuss this is Ladipo Johnson, the National Publicity Secretary of the new Nigeria People's Party. Joins me live in the studio. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's great to have you again on Politics HQ. Now, let me start by asking, what exactly is going on within the NNPP? It seems, the stories coming out of it reflect confusion and division.
No, on the contrary, the party is united. We are at the moment trying to reorganize the party, trying to grow the membership base of the party. Generally trying to put it, after every election cycle, you learn some lessons and you try to get things in order. Now, unfortunately, in that exercise, within that exercise, certain things happened. Then, because of certain issues, certain actions, and so some people were suspended and subsequently expelled. There have been a plethora of legal cases, and up until the spurious judgment that we had in Abia, the courts had been constant, and they are constant, that those that were expelled remain expelled. They didn't follow due process. They didn't go through the internal mechanisms of the party, through the party's constitution, to get their matters reviewed before going to court, etc., etc. But, other things come to affect. No party is an island. No man is an island. Then you take issues that occurred, say especially in Kano State, the matter going all the way up to the Supreme Court, the Emirates issue, now the local government election issue. You take all those things, put them in the mix, then you now have some people who are disaffected with the fact that they were expelled from the party, now allowing themselves to be tools in the hands of those within one of the other parties that wants to ensure that the NNPP is destabilized. Are
you saying that the aggrieved members are now sort of moles
the aggrieved former members?
Oh, okay.
You see, there's a difference here. We have people who are former members, right?
That includes Dr. Anebana, who has
Dr. Anebana,
who is the founder of the party.
Who was one of the founders of the party. We give that to him. But recall the case of, I think, Okori and Abga. You go all the way. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said that it must be ludicrous to think, it's ludicrous to think that because you're one of the founders, you cannot be suspended or expelled from the party. You understand? So that is, at the moment, a non-issue. Unfortunately, he hasn't gotten himself round to understanding that fact. He hasn't gone through the channels he should have gone through. And then that is why you now see that you have them going round. Oh, I can see the logo there. And that is not our current logo. The logo has been changed. This is not the NNPP logo.
You've upgraded it from this one?
Yes. You mentioned the 6th of April, was it?
Yes.
The logo was changed in line with the new constitution. It's a red and white logo with education at the crux of it, a book, education.
So you moved it from green
Yes.
the green to red and white. Yes. But that seems to look like the Kwakwansia movement.
Yeah, well, it's not the red, it's the red and white, because we feel that it can, it is more identifiable. In fact, the issue arose after the elections, when we had problems with the elections, with the basket of fruits. I liked the logo, the original one, with the basket of fruits. But unfortunately, the print in the ballot paper is usually so small. So it was smudged. Even I found it difficult looking for NNPP on election day, but I knew it was just around LP and everything. So we were advised, even mentioned during general meeting at INEC, that you have to, someone has an umbrella that is clear, someone has a broom that is clear. Look for something distinct and clear. And we started that process. We got to that process, and on the 6th of April, it was ratified. Because, you know, the decision is taken at NEC and then ratified at
Now, let's bring it to the court judgment, because there are a plethora of issues here. The court judgment, you know, in Abia State, which you have thrown out as ineffective. I'd like you to speak on that.
Well, the judgment in itself, I believe, was reached par in curiam. When I say par in curiam, that means that the judge probably did not have all the facts before him. We were not represented. We were not in court. I'm not sure that INEC was in court, right? It's one remote area of Abia State that they took the case to file the case. I don't know what they did. But the bottom line, and what has saved us, and I want Dr. Anebunam to hear this, is that there is an existing judgment that runs contrary to what they went to do over there. But what they went to do over there, they used an outdated constitution of the party. 2, I maintain that the jurisdiction of the court was not invoked because the parties were not properly served, right? And then, as I said, the facts. You see, in your affidavit, you said these are the people you want to be board of trustees, etc. Did you mention to the judge that, oh, they were expelled from the NNPP? If you have mentioned it to any judge, anyone that's not a lawyer, will say,
in your words, are these former members, are they aware?
Of course they're aware.
That they are expelled? Of
course they're aware. Just check the press, they're aware. They've been shouting for months. They're aware that they're expelled. You understand? And then they suspended people like me, and later expelled me and Senator Kwankwaso, and they've expelled the governor of Kano maybe 3-4 times.
So because, I mean, we are trying to understand exactly the situation, because we also know that they did sing to...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So you see the bottom line. The bona... So we want to understand.
Let me give you the bona fide.
Okay.
The bona fide, or we say in English bona fide, but in Latin is bona fide. The bona fide NNPP, the only one is that led by Dr. Ajoji Ahmed. And what I'll say to you now, you can check online. Today, there was a judgment by the court in Ondo State upholding the nomination of our candidate for the gubernatorial elections. They went, same group, the Anebunam people went to try to say that the candidate was not proper, they are the real NNPP, and they threw them out because they have it. You see, it's not, Dr. Anebunam claims that he has the certificate of registration of the party, which is fantastic. No one says he doesn't have it. You understand? But when you have the certificate of registration, then you now look at how the party has functioned. And that means you look at the conventions, the NECs. And that is why you see that INEC is usually represented. You have to notify INEC, 21 days notice. All these things are there. We operate not by sentiments, but by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by the Electoral Act, and by the Constitution of the party. It's not about sentiments. I understand how he feels. You understand? I understand how they feel.
You allege...
Unfortunately, it's not about sentiment.
You allege that these expelled members work for the opposition.
Well, let me just say, don't say Ladipo has started talking again. When we went all the way, just before the Supreme Court, after the Court of Appeal, I'm talking about the governor of Kano, they had a press conference. Said, no, they supported the case of the APC.
So you think they are working for the APC?
Hang on, I don't have to think. I know what is going on. You see, in politics, military, and the mafia, those three are similar. You don't need to see full evidence before you say you are gone for the coup. You understand what I'm saying? So in politics, if I see and I hear, because you have people talking left and right, you understand? If you know and you see them holding a press conference supporting the case of the APC against the NNPP, right? When it came to the Emirates, they did the same thing. They went against the governor of Kano. They supported Bayero, who was being pushed by the APC people, right? So what do I need to do? They went to court 2-3 weeks ago to try to stop the Kano State's local government elections.
All right, let's look at another issue here.
Yeah.
And that's the issue of, from some alleged members to what I would call the Kwakwanso grip on the party, particularly in Kano State. We've seen recently some members of the party leave. Some were even suspended. Some have openly said, you know what, we cannot have Senator His Excellency Rabiu Kwakwanso control the governor anymore. And for that reason, we are dissatisfied with what is going on. And that seems to create a crack. I will give you some time to respond to that. But first, let's go on a quick break. When we return, we would, of course, take a response to that. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This is still Politics HQ on News Central Television, and of course we are looking at the perceived leadership crisis within the New Nigeria People's Party. I have Ladipo Johnson, the National Publicity Secretary of the party. He joins me live in the studio. Thank you for your time. Before we went on that break, I asked you as regards particularly in Kano, there seems to be a lot of division and dissatisfaction, particularly with what some members have described as the Kwakwanso grip on the party, that the governor is not given a free hand to be the governor of the state, but in a way appears to be the puppet of His Excellency Kwakwanso. I would like you to speak on that.
Well, those who are complaining are the people that got into office through the same concourse or grip. Do you understand?
So you are not denying that there's a grip?
Hang on. Let me answer.
Okay.
I'm saying that if they claim that there's a concourse or grip or concourse or influence, I will call it, right? Then they got into office through that in the first place. But what you find is that there are some people who are repeating what they've done in the past. They get in through the caucus. When they get in, then they start to complain, they start to do whatever. And some were even affected by the emirship tussle. They were like, oh, the governor didn't inform them that they were going to, cancel the little smaller emirates or so because of the areas they were from. They were not happy about that, etc. It would be an insult, and back to your question now, for them to state that Abba Kabir Yusuf, the governor of Kano, is a puppet. He has a track record. He's been in government, he's been there since '99. He might be a soft-spoken person, and a lot of people nationally might not know the face. They know him now, you know, but this is the man, when Kwankwaso had his second-term miracle of projects, bridges, what have you, he was a commissioner for works. So if you sit with him, you'll see that he knows what he's doing, and he will not accept anything.
What is the relationship between the governor
and
Kabir
Senator
Yusuf and Senator Kwakwanso?
The relationship is fine.
Are you saying that if, for instance, the governor calls the senator calls the governor now, the governor will pick the call?
Definitely. You see, let me tell you, they're good at what they do, right? Because this morning, one of our officers in the Southwest saw me and said, he asked me the same question you're asking. And I told him, I said, what nonsense are you asking me? I can't say that to you. Because he's a member of the party. I said, don't you know how these battles are fought? They put something out in the press in this day of social media. It's easy. They put it out in the press, say, he's not even picking his calls. It's not what, these are all lies. A few weeks back, when that story broke, I was in Kano. I was waiting to see His Excellency. It was a Friday. And then I was like, oh no, we actually went for a program, all of us in the bus. I was in their bus, the commissioners and the governor. And when we got back, they went to the mosque. I said, oh, laddie, please wait. And I sat there waiting. And time was going. So I had to ask one of the people, that, isn't the mosque just here in the State House, government house they call it? And the person told me that, no, they went to the mosque at Kwankwaso's house because the governor wanted to make a point. Kwankwaso was in Abuja, not in Kano. So these things will be there. I believe sometime next week, we will see if they're still united or not. Kwankwaso's daughter is getting married. You understand? We'll all be in Kano by God's special grace. And all these things will happen. Now, back to your question, yes, there are some people who are not satisfied with the way things are. I have been in the National Working Committee now since before the elections, 2000, you understand, 22, 23. And I've found that the man, when I say the man, I'm talking about Senator Kwankwaso, does not interfere with the decisions that we take. You know, before we came on air, I was telling you that when the National Working Committee took a decision about the suspension of Dr. Anebunam and others, Senator Kwankwaso didn't even know. He heard about it. And when he saw me, what he said was that, oh, laddie, I would have been more patient. You know, and we just, well, that's you. We took our decision.
So you are saying that the senator, that Senator Kwakwanso, doesn't have that much of an influence in the running, per se, of the party?
He has an influence. Let's say he doesn't have an influence.
Okay.
He has an influence.
But not a grip.
You understand? Not a grip in the sense that he will let you do what you have to do. There are times we disagree to agree, or you understand, or
was it carried along when the
English is?
Yeah, was it carried along when the new logo was determined?
Oh, education is his forte.
Including the colors?
Education is his forte. And you see, when you say including the colors, I am the publicity secretary. My colors, I'm a member of Kwankwasia. I'm the Lagos State. I've been the Lagos State coordinator for many years. Many of us, not everyone on the working committee on the national
member
are members of Kwankwasia. We have people as well from other places. The national secretary is not a member of Kwankwasia.
But there are members. He was a member of
Kwakwansi's group.
Yeah, but there are members of Kwakwansi also leaving the group in droves.
It's politics.
Is it bothered about?
No, he might not be bothered, or he might be bothered. But personally, personally, I realize that it is politics. I've said it several times. I say that we are under attack. Nigerians should try to read it. It's politics. What is happening to the Labour Party, what has happened to the PDP, with the division, with Governor Wike, or Minister Wike, whatever you want to call him, etc., etc. You understand? What is happening in Rivers State is the same thing that they're cooking to happen in Kano.
So you're suggesting all the opposition parties, many of the opposition parties are under attack?
They are under attack.
Who's the attacker?
Who's the attacker? It can only be the APC. I have no fears. You know, I have many friends in the APC. They'll say, well, you are talking nonsense. Come and prove it. I don't need to prove it. It's politics. And we look at it and say, okay, do you understand? Who went to court to try to stop the local government elections? No, it was the APC. And then so-called NNPP and Ebunam's people in Kano. You understand? So all these things are there. And I won't mention it's politics. I believe, I'm telling you what I believe. And I keep saying it that we're under attack. And I'll tell you that with the Emirates issue, who was the one that gave and is still giving almost presidential security to former Emir Ado Bayero in Nasarawa, where he's staying? I drove past it about 2-3 times when I was in Kano last time. I was like, wow, police vehicle, surrounded. Who? You can't blame us for thinking that it must be someone or some people with access to the federal. Even if I cannot say, Mr. President, Mr. National Security Advisor, or whatever, it must be someone who is able to pool those resources. So we don't need to fool ourselves.
So what is the opposition doing to, I mean, you said that largely many of the opposition parties are under attack, including your party. What is the opposition doing to counterattack? Is there any form of alliance happening?
Well, I think what we all need to do first, and that is what we're doing. We're more fortunate because we were able to snuff or nip it in the bud, but it hasn't stopped. As you know, we now have 2 members of the House of Reps from the NNPP. They haven't left, but they say they're recognizing an Ebunam. I don't know how you recognize someone who's no longer in the party as your leader, but I'm sure that is an issue for the party in Kano State. The 2 gentlemen are very good friends of mine. I know them very well. for many years now, even before we joined the NNPP. We were all members of the Kwankwase at one time or the other. So it's unfortunate that it has reached that stage, right? But it is normal in politics that, you know, it's like the, let's joke about it, it's like the, what do you call it, the football season, when you're changing, transfer of players. It's normal. But we'll get to midterm soon, by May next year, and then everyone will start to think about re-election, and we'll know who is who. You understand?
But are there talks of an alliance, maybe with a Peter Obi or something?
Well, we've had talks everywhere in the media. Nothing formal. I say that as a spokesperson of the party. But our position has not changed. That's the position of the NNPP. The position of the NNPP is that we claim, we believe, I know, that we want good governance. So, in that vein, we are leaving ourselves open to the possibility of forging an alliance, a working relationship, whatever is necessary, right, to bring about that good governance. You understand? So if you feel that the ruling party now, APC, is not doing well, if you feel the economy, some people feel the economy is good, you understand? So I tell you, if you feel the economy is not doing well, then you should be open to listening to anyone from any party, you understand, whether ABGA or whatever. But there are certain things that will be considered. And the most important thing is the platform. When I say platform, I'm not talking about the party. I'm talking about the ideology. You understand? There's no point an NNPP that is for the people, for education, etc., healthcare, welfare of the people, joining with someone who is extremely capitalist. Even if you win an election, you won't have a good government. So
ideology must sink.
So there'll be some things there that I'm sure by 2025, 26, the talks will happen. And that is why you see we're all trying to play defense and then in our homes and then begin to lay down new structures and strengthen the structures before any possible marriage.
All right. Thank you so much for your time on the program. Ladipo Johnson, the National Publicity Secretary of the New Nigeria People's Party. Once again, thank you.
Thanks for having me.